Hello, we're the Ninja Turtles, and we're going to see today the first empire and the first federal republic.
First, let's talk about the first empire. So, the face of this time period was Agustín de Iturbide, which was a representative of the first junta. Then, that junta elected him as the first emperor of Mexico. It was a constitutional monarchy. This means that the king, or emperor in this case, has to follow the constitution. So they had a constitution. Later on, Iturbide dictator, and later on his constitutional monarchy became more like an absolutist monarchy. Then he was exiled, and it was the end of the first empire.
Mentioned that people weren't happy with this type of absolutist monarchy, and so they had to plan some type of idea to eradicate Iturbide's ideas. And well, Santa Anna is the one who makes this possible. But
now we're gonna talk about Mexico's economic situation. After 11 years of war, they achieved their economic independence. This meant that the criollos were on the highest ranks, so the indigenous people were the lowest. They worked hard and in excess. They worked so many hours, there wasn't even a contract between the boss and the worker. They have the lowest salary. There were temporal workers and permanent workers. Also, there was a time that the workers were in debt with their bosses, so they had to work even more to pay this debt. There were some other jobs, like teachers, supervisors, and all that stuff, but they were only for criollos and mestizos. So the indigenous people didn't have any other option than working for a farm or that. There were social classes, that was the clergy, the officials, the popular one, the workers, and the little business owners, like you can say. Mexico is a fact that they have so many debts, even from the beginning of the first empire until now. One big loan they asked for was for the House of Goldsmith in 1824, and it was 16 million of pesos, but they asked for more, so they converted to 32 million of pesos. It's important to mention that the economy was based on the agriculture, and it was affected by the international affairs that Mexico had.
Let's talk about the Constitution of 1824. This constitution, not only did it take Agustín Iturbide out of power, but it was the first legitimate Mexican constitution that we ever had, and it established a solid Congress in our nation.
After Iturbide's exile, the Federal Republic starts. It starts in 1824 till 1835. In this time period, there were 2 triumvirates and 9 presidents. The first president was Guadalupe Victoria, which had a successful... The presidents after Guadalupe Victoria were Gómez Pedraza, Vicente Guerrero, Anastasio Bustamante, and Santa Anna. The Federal Republic ended because there were many encounters between the Federalists and Centralists.
it is a fact that during the Federal Republic, there were lots of political instabilities, and these were very important because it led to several or different types of governments, but following the same ideology, which was basically democracy. Well, there were this triumvirates, which actually means that 3 people were in the power. And well, did you know that?
No, I didn't know.
Well, now you do. It was very important because Guadalupe Victoria, Nicolás Bravo, and Pedro Celestino Negrete had diverse ideas, and these all affected the country. But what happened, or what was important during the elections of 1829, I guess, with Vicente Guerrero?
I actually know that.
You do?
Vicente Guerrero, displeasured by Gómez Pedraza's authority, decided to initiate a movement, and he eventually reached his presidency, and that's how he reached it.
Well, so did he actually win, or who was the one?
Well,
That
I guess, yeah, he did.
interesting. So there were lots of political movements which made him the president then.
Yeah, and I guess you can call him a leader because he initiated the movement. Okay, Diego, I want to ask you something. Was there anything else important in this era?
Actually, there was. Between 1833 and 1834, when Gómez Farías was in power, a series of laws started to be discussed so the church could have less power. Among these were secular and regular clergy had to give up like their opinion in political issues. Another thing was Jesuits had to give up buildings to the state, and the payment of the tithe was cancelled. But all of these didn't matter at the end. Well, it did, but once Santana came to power again, it was all cancelled.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. Thanks. See you later. What do you think about civil laws?
No. Oh, but maybe Richard does. Hey, Richard, do you know anything about the civil laws?
I actually do. The civil laws were a type of centralized ideals which were implemented by Santa Anna, and this changed the government of the Mexican government forever. It actually had as I said, a centralized ideal. It changed the states to several departments which depended on a central power, and well, basically it had the power focused in a person, and well, that was what changed Mexican and political ideals for like half a period.